Hi, this is Divya here, and welcome to Buddy's Talk. Our आज का episode is about 90s Bollywood. Shweta, 90s Bollywood, what comes to your mind?
Oh, wow. That's been such a wonderful period. And the first thing that comes to my mind, Divya, is Shah Rukh Khan. I've been such a
Ooh,
big fan of Shah Rukh all through 90s. And even now, I love him.
me too.
Yeah. Bhavna, what about you?
Uh, for me, Shah Rukh Khan was not a big deal, but when Hrithik Roshan came into the scene, that's when it all started. But that was in the 2000s is what I remember. But still, I think he can beat all the 90s heroes.
Yeah, I even liked watching Hrithik Roshan. I think Kaho Na Pyara, I watched that movie so many times. And I even have dialogues by hearted by that time.
But I also remember how we used to have those postcards. We used to collect so many postcards of all the heroes that we could remember. Salman Khan,
Yeah.
Shah Rukh Khan. We used to buy the rarest of the rarest, and we used to keep that in our slam books.
Well, you won't believe this incident I'm going to narrate. So, when Kuch Kuch Hota Hai released, I was a big Shah Rukh fan. And of course, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai
वो
was like,
सबको पता था.
exactly. So, uske baad, he used to wear those cool chains, like
हाँ.
with cool, like those metal ones.
The college
I
college
used to-
times के थे.
Right, I
remember.
I got that from the local market, Mulund ka market. ठीक है, और वो पहन के I used to wear it on salwar kameez. I was that fashionable.
Yeah, we were all big fans. If not for Shah Rukh, I was a big fan of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, that's for sure.
Absolutely, I had so many postcards for like Rani and Kajol and Shah Rukh, and I used to
I
carry it
think it is-
in my books.
Yeah, and that movie ना उस समय से I think those friendship band वो सब चालू हो गया था.
Right.
Yeah, true, very true. And the trend
Friendship
for
Day. And
Yeah.
before that, we never knew that there was a day called Friendship Day.
that's true. Those bands and stuff, right?
Those
I know it
colorful
was.
bands, the exactly same band that Shah Rukh Khan gave to Rani Mukherjee. Remember that?
Yeah. That
we
was
used
like
to search for
yeah.
those for at least 2 or 3 years, even after the release of that movie. We used to still search for that band.
Absolutely. And I remember that how even dressing senses changed post that. It was like a fashion trend that began post that
True.
movie.
Yeah, we had Kajol on one side, and we had Rani Mukherjee in the the fashionista kind of a person in that movie, like two extreme ends.
Right. And
Right.
and we used to go for movies. Remember, we three. We used to.
Oh,
I
yes,
think.
we have seen a lot
Which
of movies
movie?
together.
Which one do you think you remember from the 90s that we might have watched together in theaters?
I'll
think.
tell mine. I remember Bhoot, the scary movie, and I
Oh,
still
yeah.
feel scared.
Urmila Matondkar.
Yeah.
That
I
was
How
remember
Divya was
scary.
scared. How
Yeah,
Divya was
mujhe
scared. I
mil-
was at school as a cucumber. I remember that.
It was scary because the sound effects were so scary. Forget everything else. And the way she acted in that movie, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a stair scene जहाँ पे तूने बहुत जोर से चिल्लाया था and सब थिएटर वाले तुझे देख रहे थे. Where she was like about to fall but she didn't fall. Something like that.
I also remember one incident where we had booked a ticket for one movie. We went there and we were not sure if that's the movie that we got the
10,000
tickets
BC.
for. Yeah.
पहले तो वो एक हॉलीवुड
Yeah,
मूवी थी.
10,000 BC.
पहले तो वो हॉलीवुड मूवी थी, उसका स्टार्टिंग बिगनिंग हमें कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था and हम जाके बैठ गए थे.
Right.
फिर जैसे बैठ गए 5 मिनट के बाद वो लोग क्रेडिट्स दिखाना चालू कर दिया.
And we were like, ये नहीं है, ये गलत जगह आ
ये
गए हम
नहीं
लोग.
है. No, I think we were very happy with the popcorn and the Pepsi that we had in our hands.
Absolutely. I mean, these are such nice memories, right? When you talk about those era and school and college days were so much fun.
And
Go ahead.
what other trends do you remember from the 90s जो वो cult हो गई थी या फिर trend हो गया था, क्या था? What do you remember?
Well, I would like to add something before Shweta talks because I remember this incident when I used to be in school sitting beside Shweta. She was the one who put that Bollywood kida in me. Because yeah, she was too good. She was into movies and I wasn't back then. And वो मेरे को ऐसे questions पूछ रही थी, चल ये game खेलते, चल वो game खेलते about movies. And she just got me and pulled me into that, And that's how I got into the whole movie stuff. I was never into it, honestly. And yeah, Shweta, you want to add more?
और firstly तो I don't remember कि मैं ऐसे कोई games खेलती थी.
Wow.
But yeah, I have a very bad memory, so I don't remember things. But cool. If I was the one who got you addicted to Bollywood.
But Bishweta, I would like to know who was your like when you think about Bollywood, what comes to your mind first? Like, what is the first picture that comes to your mind?
I think, going back to even Bhavna's question that on what is the cult thing that comes to my mind, I think both I'll answer together. I think what comes to my mind is, I think DDLJ, because that was a very different movie compared to the movies which were released earlier, where, they used to say,
True.
oh, just run away with the bride. But I think here it was like, aligning with your family and then getting their blessings. All of those was important. And I think that really had a huge impact on me personally. And I think on a lot
It
of
was,
people around us as
yeah,
well.
it was more about patofying the dad than patofying the girl in that movie.
And also,
कि बाप
Shah Rukh
फंस
was
गया तो
like,
शादी
yeah,
तो हो ही जाएगी.
true, and all the music and locations was like too good.
Oh yes, and I think it was Hum Aapke Kaun also that got into
Oh
this
yeah,
Oh yeah.
that was in my
wedding
mind.
scenes completely.
It was
Everyone is
one of
looking
a
for the
kind.
same sari that Madhuri Dixit wore in
True.
that song. Which song was that?
Didi Tera
Didi.
Deva.
Didi
Yeah.
Tera. How can I forget
And
that? Oh my God.
Guess what? I have something. I know something about that song. So the sari she wore, the purple one.
Yes.
Apparently, at that point, it was the most expensive sari ever used in Bollywood. It was like around 7 to 8 lakhs, which is like too much for that time.
Oh.
So yeah, I know. So that was somebody. I mean, I got to know from someone, and I was like, oh my god, kya hai yaar?
And
Itni
Madhuri,
महंगी साड़ी.
and I think only Madhuri could have carried it, the way it was carried, that movie, और कोई कर नहीं सकता था शायद उतना अच्छा.
Yeah, she was
Right.
very pretty. She was so
Yeah.
beautiful.
And I
She
think
was
that's where MF Hussain also started painting
wooing
about
her.
her. Yeah.
और
That is true.
और किसको सलमान खान के सिक्स पैक एप्स याद है?
Oh,
yeah.
Jane Jana. That is a song that
I
comes
think
to
that
my
was also a
mind.
trend setter ना. उसके बाद तो सब हीरोज के
Everybody
सिक्स पैक्स
shirtless. Yeah.
एप्स आने लग
But
गए थे.
but I think Salman Khan after that started like her movie mein without koi reason he would take off his shirt.
शर्ट अपने आप फट जाता था.
He still does, by the way. He still does
लेकिन
it.
अभी पता नहीं कि बहुत सारे क्लेम्स आते हैं कि वो भी फोटोशॉप्ड है.
That is true. Like the
Yeah,
recent movie I saw, वो कौन सी थी दिशा पाटनी के साथ. That
क्या
was,
था?
I think it was CGI. क्या मालूम?
राधे. Oh, he was
Radhe.
Flash in that movie. What you're saying?
And when I think about 90s, I think the music was a very important element. I still listen to the 90s music because those were one of my favorites, Exactly.
yeah.
हनुमान भी था, but ठीक है, जेल लेते थे उसको कभी-कभी, लेकिन fine.
Anu Malik and as you said, Nadeem Shravan ka music was like awesome, man. They say even
yeah.
Hum Aapke Kaun for that
Jatin
matter. It had how many songs? 13 songs or something.
Yeah.
It was a trendsetter at that time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's so much to talk about,
And I
right?
think it was during that
And I
time जब A.R. Rahman also came into the scene, and
Roja,
his music
Roja.
was like soul-touching music.
Yeah,
वो तो कोई भी
Roja
नहीं कर
Bombay.
सकता.
Yeah, and I think it was also very romantic movies in the 90s as compared to maybe the movies that we see these days. I think
Right.
90s was really romantic era.
That's true.
That's why we are also romantic, I think.
Oh yeah. Romantic.
Clean, romantic, not like fabricated नहीं लगती थी तभी.
Right.
Or it's about like it's even
Simplicity.
song and dance, music and storyline. Everything was very filmy. And still, that's why I think 90s have such good memories. Like when you think about movies, most of the memories come from the 90s.
Exactly. Exactly. जब हम सोचते हैं ना कि शाहरुख खान, सलमान खान, आमिर खान एक साइड में हो गए, फिर एक था दूसरे साइड में was अक्षय कुमार, सुनील शेट्टी, सनी देओल and all those people. Then who was the other different kind of a breed here? Govinda.
Oh yeah, Govinda was
Govinda.
like he had his own what to say forte, like he had his own space, and I think he was the top in his area. So yeah, he was funny.
Comedian and drama, everything was like he was really good in both of them.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
and
I
just
remember all his movies like Coolie number one, Hero number one, Auntie number
Sub
one.
number one.
lot of number ones. But when let me ask you guys this question. Starting with Bhavna, who do you think was your crush? I know you talked about Hrithik Roshan, but in 90's, who do you think you had crush on? Like you used to like dream about him, or
Not
have
really, but
fantasies about him. I would say.
if I have to really choose someone, then it would have been Salman Khan, which I am not very happy about right now. Yeah, but it would be Salman Khan, yes.
Okay, and how about you, Shweta?
For me, I think it was Shahid Kapoor. I remember we had
Oh,
gone to one of the malls, and at that time, I think we had Planet M, and we went there. He had come there for the release of his
Ishq
first movie,
Vishk.
Ishq Vishk. Yeah,
Yes.
and he was
Oh,
so smart and so
and
hot. I mean,
and
yeah, he
he
was
was
very cute.
yeah, he was just like he looked so young, also like any of our classmates. That
That's
kind of
true. He
a
had a
boy,
chocolate boy image. Yeah,
Yeah, and his
and all.
song, the song, which one was that? There was a pop song in his name, "Aankhon mein tera hi chehra." I think
Oh
that
yeah,
film.
Aankhon mein tera hi chehra. Yeah, I
Oh yes.
remember that song. I think
Hmm.
maybe went to the mall. Amrita Arora was also there with her,
No, it was
right? With
Amrita
him, I
Rao.
mean.
It
Yeah,
was Amrita
Rao, not
Rao.
Arora. Oh, yeah, you're
Yes,
right.
yes.
Arora
Oh,
is the
she.
one for Malaika. Okay, got you.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, even she was there. And I think my brother bought a CD or a cassette. I don't remember what, and got it autographed by them.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
is it?
Yes, and
Wow.
when we were just looking at them from far, in the standing in the queue, and like behind all the crowd, this guy went ahead. He bought a CD and got it autographed by them, face to face.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know that. When did he
And
do this?
I don't know what
I think I
happened to
was
the
busy
CD or
watching
where the
him.
autograph is. And since I would have also loved to do that, but you can't have two CDs in the same house.
True. That is
Yeah.
true. When
Hmm.
I think about crushes, I don't know if you guys remember this actor. His name is Inder Kumar.
Oh yes, he passed away,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
unfortunately.
did. He did, unfortunately. But he was
Oh,
so
there
good
was a
looking.
song with Aisha Julka.
ये जो तेरी पायलों की
Oh yes, that's that
चंचन.
song.
Oh,
Yes, yes. He's
yeah.
quite good looking. He was quite good looking, in
Oh
fact.
yeah, I used to like dream about him, honestly. Like when his first movie released. I think it was the same movie with Aisha Julka. I
I
don't
think
know.
it is. I think the word you're using, dream, is not dream. It is fantasize.
Yeah, I didn't want to put it in a more fancier way.
It's okay.
So,
Everyone understands.
so, so fantasize sounds like something, you know what I mean.
No, no, no. We all do that. We all do that. Just now that it is about food right now. That's it.
That's true. That's true. So that was
And
one
Yeah.
of, yeah, go ahead, Shweta.
yeah. Go ahead, continue. I was just
And no,
talking.
I was just saying that, even I was thinking about Karishma Kapoor, like how she began, how she started off, how she used to look, and then
Oh yeah.
gradually over the time, like for those movies like Krishna, and where she
Yeah.
was
From
like,
Anari to Krishna.
exactly, she was like, oh my God, she just had such a great transformation, and I think I used to love her because she was a great dancer, she had a great
And
physique, you
yeah,
know.
I think she was one of those fewest of the lady actors who did what do you call, take care of her body as well. Like
Oh
having a
yeah,
figure.
yeah.
I don't know if she was zero figure or
Oh
whatever,
no,
but
she was too good. Yeah, she was too
yeah, she
good. She
was
was
good.
well
Yes,
maintained. Yeah.
yes, well
And
maintained for that season.
absolutely. And she was like one of the most fashionable icons during that time. Along with
Absolutely agree.
another person who comes to my mind is Urmila Matondkar with
Oh
Rangila.
yeah.
Oh my God. That was like,
Oh, that
ooh.
that was something that I can still see her, that dress, and she dancing on that road.
Oh,
Yes,
oh yeah. That
Oh
requires
yeah,
yeah,
some
that was very
guts.
iconic.
It
Yeah.
is. The music, the movie, and Urmila was like, oh my God, honestly. So yeah, there's so many things to talk about, right? I mean, like we can go on and on and on, but yeah, I think I should ask you guys one more question. Like if I say that name a movie that you wish was released in this era, like this time, what do you think?
uh,
What comes to your
mm,
mind? That should have released now and
uh,
and would have done better or would have created more would have
I
done.
think, yeah, there are so many movies, but
Yeah,
I would
so many
really like
movies.
to, yeah, possibly have a remake of DDLJ. That's been my favorite movie, and I would really like this generation to
Remake.
also.
uh, I don't think remake, but I think the same movie DDLJ, if it was released now, would make the same impact that it did at that time.
But do you think Maratha Mandir is still running DDLG or not?
I think it is, and it went back. I don't know. I don't want to say things that I'm not sure about, but yeah, it was. I think it's still running.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think one movie that I wish was released now is Andaz Apna Apna, because every time I watch that movie, I was like,
Mhm.
that movie, I don't know if you guys know about this, but the movie when it was released didn't do well in the first week or so, and they declared it a flop.
Oh
But
Oh,
yeah, it was. I remember that.
yeah,
Yes.
later on it caught up, and then it became the sensation it is.
In
Like
that,
I can
what
watch it anytime.
what
yeah,
was the
बहुत
name
अच्छा
of that
movie थी.
villain in that? Um, there was a famous
Goga,
dialogue by
Crime
Goga,
Master Goga.
Time
Oh
Master
yeah.
Goga. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, so I just
Hmm.
wish that movie was released now. We could have
Yeah,
all
it's funny. Like
happened.
right now, we lack a lot of comedy movies are lacking in today's cinemas. Like
That's
proper people
true.
who can actually do physical comedy, and the with the
Yeah,
dialogue also that is lacking right now.
yeah, that's
I wish
true.
Right.
someone could get it back into the Bollywood, right? Even in the 2020s now.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
absolutely. I just wish the whole comedy, even as you mentioned, right? Even comedy was different in the 90s. Um,
Exactly.
it
Hum
was
Mein Rahi Pyar Ke.
right.
That
It's
was
now
comedy, drama,
exactly.
romantic, everything. It was like a package deal.
Yeah, and it was funny as well. But I
And
mean, Juhi
families
Chawla is one
families could
of the
watch.
favorite comedians.
Yeah, and families could watch it like with each other rather than changing channels or
Right.
Yeah,
yeah, like how the movies are right now.
yeah, yeah, true. It was clean comedy rather than,
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. We crave
that's
for
true.
such movies these days.
Oh yes, oh yes. These days, the recent comedy movie I watched was Hangama 2. I don't know if you guys got a chance to
No,
experience
I
it.
haven't. I haven't. I remember.
Yeah,
I remember the Hangama one in which Paresh Rawal is asking the actress, his wife, who plays his wife in that movie, and she is gone walking with a dog, and hippopotamus ke saath kahan ja rahi ho? And it was. I don't know if you guys remember that. And she said that I'm not talking to the dog. I'm talking to you. So I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the dog. Yeah, so that is. I don't think you can catch up with that level of comedy now.
oh yes, yes, yes. Apparently, that's a remake of a Malayalam movie, if you know, but Malayalam movie was class apart.
Of course, of
So,
course.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can just go on and on. There's so many things to talk about. But as an ending note, do you guys want to like say something like
No, I think we should
about?
have a part two. We should have a part two to this episode.
Yeah. There's so much
Very
to
Uh,
soon.
talk.
yeah, so much to talk about, right? I think so. The viewers, the listeners, if you guys want to hear more about this, do let us know. We're gonna have a second part, and we're gonna talk more about 90s.
Yay!
That sounds
Yes.
good.
So stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you and have a good
Bye bye.
Bye.
bye.